Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. As you can see, I went a bit of a rank up spree. As you know that I did Blade, kind of ranked him up a little bit further. And as well with Nightcrawler. Now disappointingly I don't have the credentials, the rank up materials as it were, to get this guy even further. But plans are in the future. Hopefully I get a Mutant Awakening gem. And the argument would be whether or not to use it on Nightcrawler or Storm. And I think I might opt for Nightcrawler based on my enjoyment of the character. And that's one thing that I do kind of promote. Like, if you have a character that you particularly enjoy above any other, then that may be a candidate for you to kind of do for rank ups, to kind of get a full enjoyment out of a character. And this guy is just so fun and so exciting, so exhilarating. So the big question I think a lot of people will then ask, well, if he's unduped, Rich, how much more different is he? Less powerful? And to a degree, yes, slightly underwhelming. The NeoFem Heritage as a signature ability allows that a quick switch between NeoFem mode to swashbuckling mode, which is the first thing that's a positive. But the second thing, which is the most crucial thing, the kind of better aspect about Nightcrawler is this. That he can switch them when he switches the mode, switch faster, and also increase attack each time he strikes a deep wound. Deep wounds are kind of inbuilt within this champion. Deep wounds are not added onto this kind of this champion. It's kind of a special. It's like a chunk of deep wounds, but doesn't really stack with the mastery, which is something that we'll have a look at masteries that best fit this champion in any case. But there are a lot of things going for him, regardless of the kind of disappointment with not being awakened. The first thing to point out about Nightcrawler, he's a good evader. He's not amazing. He's not as amazing on the projectile side of things as, say, Daredevil is. He's obviously great. And also that you can look at Spider-Man and kind of say that, well, are they on par? Well, inbuilt with signature ability, Spider-Man is great at evading. With regards to Nightcrawler, he comes in probably about a third. If you stack them, kind of like number 1 would be Spider-Man, number 2 would then be Daredevil, number 3 would be Nightcrawler. So he's still good, still acceptable, and still a champion that you would look as a good evader, especially against some material, some kind of content like Hela with regards to projectiles being fired out. Yeah, it could work quite well. One thing to point out is Nightcrawler is great with those crits. His crit rating and crit damage gets increased as kind of a passive ability to him, as we can see here, which I think obviously is fantastic. And when I've used the 4-star version of Nightcrawler, he's just been incredible. I've done a previous kind of video like this, like a rank up video, and was able to kind of put in some major amount of damage. Unfortunately, this one won't have the deep wounds as we've talked about, but still there is a good output of damage that this champion can still deliver regardless of being awakened or not. And even though the champion upon critical hits can get those deep wounds, slight deep wounds, it's not as powerful as an awakened version of this champion would be, but it's still an effective champion, duped or unduped. The specials are likewise equally as handy to use, and it is nice to then switch between different modes to kind of do different outputs. So swashbuckling mode is going to be a lot different to the NeoFem mode with regards to what they deliver from the back of that. Whether or not it's evade, you want to be more evading, or you want to be more aggressive with the critical damage, then it depends on what mode you'll want to switch into. And during the fight, I do actually switch between modes. I'm a big fan of swashbuckling mode because I love like huge damage outputs, and that's just like my own personal preference. But if I'm finding that it's a long haul fight and I want to make sure that I'm evading things, maybe projectiles from the L1 then, or L2 of champions, then I will be in NeoFem mode for that. And it's kind of handy to then focus that in. A lot of times in Alliance Wars, you might find that if this one's in defense, he can be a bit of annoying, especially if he's unduped, because he'll always stay in that NeoFem mode and won't switch quite easily to that swashbuckling mode if you're attacking him on an offensive. So I don't really tend to use this champion much with regards to offensive for this, and maybe in the later stages or some stage in the future I will probably use him a lot more, especially if he's awakened for offensive. But I don't think he's as powerful. It would be nice if he was a higher rank to then be considered to be put in defense. One thing that works incredibly well with this champion is synergies, and a mutant synergy team would actually work quite well. And I say a mutant synergy group, oh, fantastic. And you can pick and choose so many different characters to link, especially if they're members of the X-Men. having those linking those champions there with Cyclops means that you can then get your Storm, get your Magneto, and even slot in a Wolverine there to really kind of maximize the amount that you're getting out of there with regards to crit damage, perfect block, and all manner of different positive things for your champions when you're using them in a questing team. So without further ado, let's get Nightcrawler into a battle with Winter Soldier and kick some ass. There we have it. That has been a fun and enjoyable battle there against Winter Soldier. Granted, I would love to have this guy awakened because his damage output is just going to be so intense and going to be thoroughly enjoyable. I'm actually using this guy a lot more actually in my questing team. My questing team now consists of Blade, Nightcrawler, and a whole host of different 5-stars. It's something that I've really wanted to kind of get to a point in the game where my questing team is a whole host of 5-stars. That makes me feel just so kind of like I've achieved something within the game, and it will be something and a point in time where any player will get to that, regardless if you started today, tomorrow, or the next day. You will get there eventually. It will just require you to grind out the game. Certain things that were kind of noted that obviously mistakes were there. I'm not going to say I'm a perfect player, but at the same time, this is one of these champions again that I said with the Blade rank up that they make you not die quite so easily. You are kind of exonerated from any mistakes, because they act in such a way that they're able to achieve a lot more damage with regards to their output. Now, yes, it would be great if he was awakened. It would be great if he was an extra rank upwards in order to really maximize the amount of damage that the champion does, but you can't have everything, and you can't have it by tomorrow. This is all about a time grind. So the next thing I have to do is I have to pick and choose a decent group to then go against the Labyrinth for Legends, and then choose wisely and grind through that in order to get the rank up materials, because there's nothing else available to get the rank up materials I require to take this guy any further. So that's been a little rank up video on Nightcrawler, a great champion, and hopefully that I can use him a lot more in the future. So yep, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.